today's NCLUG Tech Talk um, from NCDOT and Oak on printing and plotting and some other good things. So before we get started, just going to go over our normal housekeeping details. This is a webinar presentation, so all attendees will be muted, and at any time during the webinar, you can submit a question into the chat box, and if time allows, the presenter will address as many questions as we can at the Q&A at the end of the presentation. We are recording the webinar, and we'll share the link after the event on our website, and we are offering PDH credits to those who have registered for the event online. And we'll be sending them out. And I know that we're probably way behind on getting everybody their PDH credits, and now here we are in December. But I talked with Ian this morning, who's our secretary, NCLUG secretary, and he says those will be going out, I think, by this week. And those, I know they're probably from August till like now. So I know we got a whole slew of them to give to you, but you will get the credit, and those are coming. I think he said he's up to date as of August. So if anybody's missing anything from prior to August, just shoot us an email at nclug.com. I'm sorry, NCLUG events at nclug.com. I'll get there in a minute. Okay. I think that's all for now. Well, I guess when Oak started, we were talking about the Toys for Tots. So we do encourage everybody to go and donate. You should have gotten an email about that, so we'd appreciate that since we aren't having our winter conference, but we are looking to hopefully host one this summer of 2022. So, but with that, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you, Oak. Thank you for doing the presentation for us today.
All right, thank you, Patty, and good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So we're just going to dive right into the last leg of our presentation for this year on sheet indexing, printing, PDF creations, and pin tables and all that stuff that's involved. So starting with sheet indexing, the important thing is the DGNWS, the workset DGNWS here. So for training, we are using this DGNWS. This is where, the last month presentation, we edit this DGNWS, put it in our TIP number. So that's how our TIP number shows up on the sheets. And also with this DGNWS is editing the sheet index information. All your sheet index information is stored in this DGNWS. And it's DGNWS is just like any resource file. If you delete this, and next time you start up MicroStation, it's just going to create a blank new one. Okay. And the idea here is starting with the 1010 workspace, we are moving the DGNWS inside the project folder for edit. So we used to have the DGN sits right like you see here, but starting with 1010, it will be moved to the workset folder here, and this is where the DGNWS that you could be editing in, and that's how we want to set up ProjectWise to work in the same manner. So you have all the different units, and then you have a workset folder there that houses the DGNWS and any file that's shared with the different units.
Hey, Oak.
So, yes.
Can I jump in real quick with a request? Jason Hatfield, I was going to say the same thing. Is there any way you can enlarge your screen a little bit?
Oh, okay.
Maximize. Text is kind of small.
Is it?
That
okay?
That change the text size, but
is that good? Or it's still small?
It's still kind of small. I don't.
Okay. I have to go to the resolution. Can you live with this? Is that I guess.
If you do control and wheel on your mouse, it'll zoom in and zoom out, make it larger for people to see. For each individual, not necessarily you, Oak, but individuals can enlarge it what they need to see.
Oh,
Well, I'll be darned. Look at there. Thank y'all. Sorry. Go ahead.
Shazam!
That's why we got John on the line. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so sheet indexing is a way for each unit to manage their work set or the sheet for their project. So it's project specific. So right here, I have all my plan sheets layout here as name boundaries here. So you can see I laid out my name boundary for all the sheets and plan sheets and profile sheets here. And just to do some, I guess, some recommendation with the when you do name boundaries here. I found that the like each group, my L alignment, I start with the name, the sheet number with the name here, and that you can do it this way. Take the time to start out the name of the name boundary according to the sheet number, and that will help when you create the sheet index. And the other hint that I can tell you about is when we have dual like profiles, top and bottom on the sheet there, you want the sheet number on the top one, like right here, 38, sheet 38, and then the bottom will put a B on the bottom. That's not used as part of the sheet number, but it's just the bottom port there. So that's just a tips there that when you do these name boundary, the bottom one, you put a B there so it won't get read. Else you get a 38, 39, 40, 41. Each sheet is incremented twice. I mean, so this be sheet 38, 39, 40, 41 instead of 38 bottom and 39 bottom here. So that's just a thing that you can do beforehand. But as you can see, I'm gonna do the sheet index. One of the benefits of sheet index is that you can renumber and resequence the sheet number automatically for you. So I start out here, go to sheet index under Explore here and make this editable and pulls up all these other rows here. And I imagine each unit would have a folder here. It'd be roadway, utilities, hydro, whatever, would manage their own set of sheets for their project. So the way I organize ours would be, 001 for title, typical section, summary, 100 for plan sheets, 200 for profile sheets, and 300 for cross-section sheets. Okay, so what I want to do is add sheets to these folders. So like for, and under the folder here, the work set folder, this is where we share our sheets. So we kind of saw this last time we met. We decided to break out all the drawing sheets in different files. Here's all the drawing models. Here's all the sheet models. Just because the more sheets or the more models you have in the file, the slower it gets. So we thought it would be best to separate drawings from sheets there, so you could put it in two different places. So this file contains only sheets. This file contains only drawing. And the PPL plan profile layout is this file here that we're looking at. This is where our layout with the name boundaries are located here for plan and profile. And same thing for profile. Profile drawings goes in one file, all the profile sheets go in one file. Here's the cross-section layout. All cross-section drawing goes there. All cross-section sheets goes in here. Okay, so you can have a mixture of drawing and sheet in that file, and when you sheet index it, it's just going to pull out the sheets, not the drawing model. But in this case, we put the sheets separately from the drawing just to save space, I guess. So right here, I start out with this plan sheets. So right now I don't have any plan sheet in my end indexing. So what I need to do is add, first of all, when I create these folders here, you can do a properties up there, and then the folder there, you can set up different um, properties the way you want to, like on my plans, I want to begin at 400. I mean, to begin at sheet 4. And the leading zero, if somebody, okay, and then, here's an option. Do you want to show leading 0? I kind of say yes, but you have the option to say no if you don't want to. Number of digits. So here's some of your sheeting here. So when I add sheets into this folder here, it's going to start at sheet 004. Okay. And same thing here. And if you know all this stuff, you can add suffixes or prefix like RW or whatever you want to here too before the sheet number. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is add sheets to that folder. And I'm going to go to the sheet files. I will go to the rowway one sheets. So these are all not the common one, but the one that we have that's has the roadway title block in them. So my plan sheets are in this file here. And then it's going to load up all the plan sheets here. So I'm going to pick up all 4 through 37. Click OK. And there, it's just renumbers it for me. Starting with sheet 4. Same thing here, profiles, add sheets, and go to my profile sheets under roadway. And 38 through 48 here. And so I took the time to name these profiles 038 here. But if we look at the cross section, they're not nicely laid out in these order. So let's take a look at the cross section sheets. Okay. So the cross section sheet here, it's all jumbled up. It has stations in here. Okay, so that's not what we want, right? So there's a lot of cross section sheets here. It's based on the station numbers, which is really means nothing to me. So how would sheet index solve this problem for me? I want you to, I want you to actually renumber, resequence this in the right place for me. So I would do this under sheet index here, go to the cross section folder here and add sheets and work sets, and then cross section here. So there's about 44 sheets here. So and click OK. Okay, so you got 46 sheets here. So now you see it renumbered for me based on my properties here. It says the first sheet begins at 1. Okay, so the one of the benefit of sheet indexing is you could just double click on this file anywhere in the project. I'm in the PPL file. I'll double click on this file, which is this sheet in a different file. So I double click on it. It takes me right there. So you can see there, it changes there for me already. Sheet 1. That's the same file here. Cross section sheet L1 through 44. Used to have this station number here, but it's sheet numbers here. So again, the benefit of the sheet index is, not only renumbers and sequence it, you can just double click on the sheet and it takes you to that file, that model. So this is plan sheet 5. So notice there's the common border and here's the title block for roadway. Okay. So the breakdown of the sheets here, I could do one more. Well, I saved the title sheets for later on, but so just breaking down this file here, that's for roadway. So you have the common border one that's shared in the workset folder, and this is the title block information that's in roadway design. Again, if your project change, if you want to change this layout here, you can just change the model. So right here, it has the a roadway design title block with basic plus right of way plus revision seals. So you want to change that, just change that model. And that's how you change the title block information. So this is what we do when we have construction or right of way revisions. This was originally sealed by this person, but now I'm sealing it with the revision on this thing. And you can have your company logos here if you wanted to, but this all comes from the title block that's in your work set. Bear in mind, this is a work set resource, not a workspace. So under roadway design, under sheets, this TTB file is this title block information file here. That's that. Okay. So that pertains, and there's some automation we're thinking about trying to make this even better or faster to use that title block information. But that's how it gets introduced into the sheets. Okay. So each one of these sheets are, I can navigate there, or I can use this to navigate. So like sheet 8 here. So that's how I use sheet index to resequence and renumber my sheets. I can have it name one thing and then number it another thing and sequence it the way I want it to. Okay. So we get to the sheeting part. Let's discuss how this printing and PDF creation and fin tables, all that ties to this sheets. Okay. So I have a sheet here. So normally what you can do is say, I want to print this or create a PDF of this. So I can go to print here. And if you use the roadway workspace and row here, it automatically configure this for you. So all this is coming to play. But you know, all this is set already for you if you use the NCDOT roadway row. And I want to point out something that's important with the pin table here. What I want to draw you to is the way it's set up. We still use level, but I think the most 80% of this is controlled through logical names. So our pin table, the roadway connect pin table here, uses the logical name DSN or anything DSN, DRN, or plan here in the reference logical name. We're gonna make that really bold, like you see here, all the drainage stuff, all the highway stuff. It's gonna be bold. And then the logical name here says anything PLN something, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Oak, anything with PLN on here, we're gonna make that dithered, like real grayed out, like here. I know location surveys and photogrammetry are rolling their eyes right now. It's like we took the time to make all these tree lines and everything else, and you're going to dither it out on your plans. So I'm sorry, but that's what we do. So when we do this, if we check our reference here, see, I use that logical name here. If we go to the layout file here, I'll show you where we hooked up the logical name. Plan profile layout here. This is where we set up the logical name. So I got all these files referenced here. And when I do set this up here, see how I put the logical names here? So the DSN, DSN 1, 2, 3, anything that says DSN or DRN, I want bold. So my right-of-way file, my DSN file, my CMD file, AOG to my alignment file, all that one bold, but anything I want to dither out, I put PON, PON1, PON2. So these two files will be dither when I print this out on a sheet module. So actually, let's just use sheet index to go to that, back to that file. So going back to sheet 5 here. So that's how I set this up, and I just hit print here. And everything's set up. I use that pin table. I could print the file, and I could put that file out here into my PDF folder. And go look for it. So that's the file I just created there. And let me zoom in, take this out, maximize a little bit space. You can see how it's darkened the roadway lines and the hydraulic lines or the DRN files. It's all bold. But the planimetrics and stuff, the photogrammetrists are complaining that you guys just lighten my work here. Will never show my work to the world, but you can see how that's lightened. So that's how we set up the pen table. So if you find out the stuff is not looking right or is shaded or whatever, that's part of the reason your logical, the use of logical names on your reference are not right. Okay. So there. Okay, so I have these now. Now we can, I guess, individually you could create PDF, and that's how the pen table was associated with it. But if you have a whole bunch of these, I would just use Print Organizer. So I can highlight that, go to here, and then Print Organizer here, or the PDF. That will set up the right print style. So right here, so I have a sheet 4 through 37 here, but I probably just want to do 4 to 7 or something real quick, just to demonstrate this capability of creating multiple PDF at one time, and through iPod through Print Organizer. So this is a PSET file here. So everything looks right here, and my output name here is. You have single print job, which means one PDF contains multiple sheets, or you can have separate sheets for each PDF. So separate print jobs. I'll put file name here. I'm going to custom, and I'm going to, there's two options. You can type in quotation what you want in the sheet number here, or I can use this whole variable here. So either way work. So I'm going to do custom, do that variable, preview it, just to look what it will come out look like. So it's going to be the TIP number name, the file name plus the sheet number .pdf on there. Okay. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna put it out here in my PDF folder in my project. Okay. And it's going to take just a few moments to set everything right. Okay, so it's done. Go to my PDF folder here. And that's the 4 sheets it just created for me. Two, 5, So that's how you create multiple PDF, a batch PDF creator, I guess. If you need to use the right pen table and everything else in here. Okay, so that is mainly the manual, the automatic stuff. So right here I have a PSET I can save. Yeah, let's save that. And put this in the PDF folder here, the PSET file. Okay. So here, my title sheets and stuff, this is a manual process where these are all all these are automatic. The title sheet, typical section, summary sheets, the whole 9-bit symbology sheets, all those is a manual process, not like these. Okay. So in that case here, I'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna add a sheet here. I have a title sheet DGN file here. TSH. And it has the title sheet, sheet 1A and 1B. Okay. I'm gonna add that here. Notice 1A and 1B, it's just been renumbered to 1, 2, and 3 because it doesn't recognize the alphabet. So in these cases, I have to hard code here, like the 1B sheet here. I can go to that sheet. You can see, I hard code that 1B there. So that's some of the tips. If you had like a 2C, 3D, or 5, whatever, it doesn't recognize the alphabet. You could put a B as a suffix, but it would be B for the next sheet, C, and so forth. But in this case, I kind of want you to hard code the sheet numbers and this in here. And I show you, this is a sheet model, but all this information is just a reference file. So all this is just reference in here. So if I turn this reference file off in the sheet model here, that's all you got. Okay. So keep in mind that's all that's reference. Where this is coming from is in the design model. So in this file here, let's go to the design model here. So you have these 3 sheets, and then this design model is default. So here is actually I do my title sheet here. And then my join. So these I place here as 0, 0, just for ease. So let's rotate view here. And rotate. So I just put this here. So this is, this is 1 to 1. So this is a cell I placed in this design model. So here's 1B, 1A sheet here. And I kind of, I have this as part of the cell, so you could just smart match these texts and just place your TIP number in your sheet number here. So we kind of build that along with this here to just smart match the attributes here, and then just type in your TIP number in your sheet number here. So once you do this in design model, I place a name boundary here. And then I reference onto the sheet. So if I go to the sheet 1, the title sheet here, the name boundary here, and I reference it, scale it down, rotate it to the sheet here, and that's how I get my title sheet in here. And by doing this, I could do a plot or create a PDF and leverage. Remember the pin table, it keys off the logical name of reference. So here I just put DSN here, and everything here is going to be black, just because I gave this logical name to this title sheet in my design file. You see how we leverage that? We can use that to our advantage here. Same thing with the symbology sheet here, 1B here. That's all reference. And I just say call that logical DSN. So when I hit print here, all that is black. So let me just hit print just to. I put it in out folder, didn't I? So you can see now, everything's prints out black and white. So I didn't have to go through any of the, you know, the the reference file level names or any of that stuff. I just said, whatever this reference file is, give it a logical name of DSN or DRN, something, and then it will print out black and white for me. Okay. Title sheet, I could have done that too. And let me show you what happens if you don't do it, the difference there. So right here, again, this is coming from a design model. I just scale it down and rotate it to my sheet model here. If I don't use this logical name here, I take that out and I hit print here. You can actually see some of the light already, but I print that out here. Put it here, title sheet 1. Just look at. So you can see how light everything is. So now the same plot, but I use the logical name here. This in. Just making that simple change there, and I hit plot here. You can start seeing already it's different. So there you can start seeing this. It's a little bit better. It's not as light as before. So that's pretty much all that I want to talk about today, I guess. Has it been, how are we doing on time? Yeah, so we're doing good on time. Is there any questions, I guess, that's been popping up? No, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And there's also, print and print organizer can work alone by itself. So I could go print organizer here. I can load up that pset file I just saved there and work from here. Now this is stored in the project roadway folder, so each unit can store the pset in their unit, but the shared work set folder is shared by everybody. So if you see this folder here, the work set folder, that's shared by everybody. This file is just open to all the units here in the work set folder.
Well, I have a quick question for you, Oak. So when you print that, do you still have to be in the R drive for it to be referenced right? Or can you now print these without having to be referenced to the project? Do you just want to go print something? Like, we do the R drive. You have to be connected to that, or can you now print?
Yeah, so if you're printing from this pset file, is that question? Yeah, you could be anywhere. Just open the print organizer set file. You can be anywhere, just like iPlot organizer,
Okay.
because yeah, and then also too, I guess when you create the PDF, it doesn't really matter because it's already captured. It's like a static JPEG at that time, I guess. If you already have the PDF already.
Yeah, I'm saying, I guess, to create the PDFs.
Yeah. Yeah. So here, yeah, I just go to iPlot, print, organize, and open up this piece set. And that's all you really need.
And there are questions in the chat. I think if you check, it goes all the way back to Neil asked the first one.
Okay. Can somebody read that for me?
Yeah, I'll read them for you.
Okay.
So the first one is when you, and you might have answered some of these, when you add a letter B to the bottom profile, do you have a way to do that automatically at first, or do you create
No,
the name
yeah.
boundaries and then manually edit the name after?
Yeah, I do that after. Again, you saw I did that. I took the time to do it manually, but it doesn't really matter at the end. It could be, you know, it could skip a number initially, but then when I go to resequence it in the sheet index, it automatically renumbers it for me. So you don't have to take the time like I did to put B at the bottom.
Yeah.
And there, when you do it with the sheet index, and it resequences and renumbered for you automatically.
Is there a specific reason why the nesting depth in the drawing model reference was set to 5 in
Yeah,
your plan sheet
yeah,
model?
that's a good question. Yes, 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 that's a very good question. Because remember, yeah, the way that this, like our roadway plan sheets here, and here you probably noticed a nested depth here of 5. So what that is, what you have to go through the tree or say how far does this go back uh, to understand why is it nested that far. By default, it is nested to 99 if you do it automatically, but that sometimes people say to slow down the machine or whatever. So I tried to do bare minimum, and I found 5 to be the least level to encompass and get everything. So here, you notice here is set to 5, nested depth of 5. So what does this actually mean? So if you go to the tree here, so that's nested depth 1, 2, 3, 4, and anything here is 5. So here is my alignment file, but in this file contains no alignment, but it referenced all these other alignments, all my ramps and loops and everything else. But 5 gets all these. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yep. Okay. Are the PLN files actually dithered or are they printed gray? I think some people might have
I
asked
call
that
it dither. Yeah, it's, the correct terminology is grade. Yeah.
Can you set the print table to full color?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you do here, you can override. This is locked when you do this, but right here, color, change that to true color. And something else here is controlling that. But you can choose a generic something in here. Probably take out the pen table. There you go. So yeah, you can set this to true color, and you can even have if like Hydro does their red line prints, all of it is black and white except for their drainage item is in red. You can pick true color, and in your pen table says, you know, every DRN, anything the logical name with DRN, make it red, and everything else is black and white.
Is there
So,
talked about doing anything like that for roadway plans? Are they always going to be black
No,
and white
one day,
colors?
I don't know if it's going to be
Okay.
in my time, but I'd like to have a color PDF one day. I know our hair map is colored.
Mhm.
That's a given, but one day we may have a color plan sheet. Just, I don't know. But you can see some of the problem with color plan sheet is the yellow is not good.
Mhm.
Yellow and green is not good with plan sheet. I can show you that on the title. So I try to avoid yellow um, and mostly green because it doesn't show it well. So like right here, you know, that yellow doesn't show it well, and there's a yellow here that doesn't show it well. But yeah, one of these days, you know, if we're talking about delivering a iModel out to the iPad somewhere, I don't expect that to be a black and white PDF, or I expect to be iModel DGN, that i.dgn file, and it's color, so they can flip through it and, you know, select the element, and it will tells you information about quantities and pay items and so forth on there. So yeah, you may see one day the colors, you know, being in there instead of black and white.
Well,
Somebody
that would
asked.
be a very difficult conversation.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you
there's
think
too
about it.
many opinions about that, I guess.
Well, and what I was getting at, Patty, is that all the colors of these elements were set up from a pure DGN CAD with a black background. The idea, and our sheets were always black and white, so it didn't matter what color we used in the CAD file. But like you say, Oak, if we're going to render color sheets on, and the sheet is black and white, whether it's PDF or you wind up printing it, I guess matters. That's like a completely different artistic conversation of coloring all of our elements to produce colored sheets. And
I'm
then
hearing map.
the whole model thing is a completely different conversation, you know. I mean, and it's something I guess we probably should be talking about that now and making our feature definitions, because ultimately right now we're still thinking of making models that produce sheets. Well, if we're to ever really get serious about this stuff, and like one day we only supply a model, okay, well, how are you looking at that model? The whole white background thing either is in play or it's not in play.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple other questions. So one was how or where to use logical names with like a profile reference.
So yeah, it'd be your same place as the PPL. So right here in the profile, plan profile layout. There. Yeah, I didn't test this out, but so here, I guess, it's wherever your name boundary is where I would put the logical name. But let's look at that theory. I mean, I don't think we need to do much to it. Let's go to our profile sheets here. While I'm doing this, I can go to the sheet index. Didn't I just tell you about the sheet index? Okay, profile sheets. So how would this print out? Print and no logical name at all. Put in the out folder.
While you're doing that, another question is if you created a project work set in a local drive, and after creating the sheets, you move the work set to a project server folder, does the sheet connection stay intact to the sheet, or do you need to redo the sheet index? You know?
Yeah, that we talked about this, and I think you're gonna run into problems when we start talking about project-wise and folder structure. So I think sheet indexing is very sensitive to folder structure, and as you know, folder structure and project-wise nowhere close to the folder structure that's in Windows. And the good thing is, I'm not sure if the good thing or the advice I could give you is when you do that, you kind of want to do it at the end. You don't want to do sheet indexing in the beginning. Like when you get returned that project over to somebody internally to DOT, then you set up your sheet index in ProjectWise or whatever system you're in. So that way all the nuances of the folder structure or whatever pseudo folder structure exists that's in ProjectWise, because it's not a one-to-one ratio outside ProjectWise, in other words. So the only advice I can give you is, yeah, your DG and WS, don't edit that until you are ready to, send that over to the NCDOT.
Okay.
But you can see this profile sheet, it doesn't really need logical name. So it mostly it's going to be based off the levels that's in the pin table. It's already know how much weight is to do the major grid line, the minor grid line, and the middle grid lines.
Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good. You ready for the next question?
Yep.
Okay. Could you change the print from color grayscale and still print black and white without a DSN variable?
I think you saw, yeah, you saw the pin table. That's where that DSN variable is located. When I left the pin table in there, it's still black and white.
Yeah.
So the pin table control the black and white also. So not unless you take out the pin table, it'll show the color as is. But you can set up the pin table to say don't, change it to black and white and use whatever color it is.
Somebody said, how do you plot on paper? I guess everything.
Yeah.
PDF.
So there's two train of thought. One way is create PDF and plot it. The other one is we don't do this often, but we can plot directly to a printer from here. So here I would choose the printer, my LaserJet or whatever printer here, and just plot it directly.
And that doesn't create a PDF, that goes straight to the printer.
Yeah, it goes straight to the printer. But like I said, most people will create a PDF, then print it through the PDF, not directly from a DGN file.
Okay.
You can if you want to.
Is the PLTCFG file printing with bi-level or bi-level overrides toggled on?
By level. Not, I don't use the by level override yet.
Okay. are the line widths printed being controlled by a roadway connect pen table?
I left it as default. It's some kind of the driver here. So, whatever driver, Bentley driver here, you know. Somewhere in here, I tell it whatever the default is.
Okay.
Come with that driver. Controls the weight.
I know sometimes, depending on some certain machines, it does vary.
Yeah.
For just a quick test plot, like if you just have a certain area, if you're in a DGN file and you just want to print
Yeah.
like a snapshot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. That's yeah. So let's go to the that's a good question, really. I mean, that's confusing sometimes to us. So right here, I made this title sheet into a sheet model, so it's easy for me to print. So when I hit print here, it just go to the sheet here. Okay, but suppose this, I just want to go to the design model here, and on print this. I mean, I just want a quick print. Say, I just will put a fence here, like I normally do. Hit print. That's not print. So yeah, so what do I have to do with any of this stuff? So make sure I have the right pin table, I guess. See how you worry about these things. It doesn't use a logical name. This is the active file. So you get into another issues of this is not accounting for in my pin table to have it print out black and white. It's all shaded and everything else in here. Just because I don't have a logical name, because this is not referenced. This is live right in the design model. So this is what you would do. Yeah, you would just fence, and instead of sheets, you don't have sheet there, you just use fence, or you can use the view if you want to. Just correct the pin table, but like I said, you're gonna have problems with the gray and all that stuff. That's not black. And also, yeah, I forgot to mention in our sheet models there, when you print from sheet model there, you notice the scale there. So most people will have a problem with this. What is this 8.08833? That's 1 foot. Uh, that's inches in foot. That's how many inches. It says inches. That's feet per foot or whatever. It's just confusing people. So what we did here, most of our sheet models, we go to the settings here. And under working units here on the file, where is the working units?
Design file settings.
Design file settings. Yeah, thank you. And change this master to inches. And this is to inches too, I think. Okay, so when we do that, if I not make it that big. Okay, so when we change the working units from feet to inches here, next time you do a print here, this makes much more better sense to people. They're one-to-one. So that's another thing about sheet module. You always print one-to-one. These are true size 34-inch by 22-inch paper size, NCD. So when you see that odd scale, that's what, 1 inch is in foot, 0.83333. And some people may have problems with that. And if that's the problem, most of our sheet models, we change the working unit to inches, so it reads out a little bit better. Okay, good questions. Good questions.
We're right at 1 o'clock, but I think we got some more questions, so I think we'll keep going, Oak, if you'll stay with us. But I just kind of wanted to just sum up a few things, and then in case a few people need it to drop off. Again, we are recording this, so you can go see it later. If you miss it or you have to leave, you can come back to it and pick up where we left off. But I just wanted to remind everybody that we will be sending out PDH credits soon for the rest of the year, so you should be getting those real soon. And if you have any questions about one of them, just email us at events@nclug.com. And then I just wanted to also bring up that NCLUG is doing a Toys for Tots drive. And so in lieu of, being that we offered almost all these sessions for free this year, that we didn't host our winter conference where we usually take up toy donations, that we ask that you just go and make a monetary donation, or you can select a toy, or even if you go to any, we're not really keeping track of it, but if you're out and about and you see Toys for Tots, go there and donate and drop something off. We're just asking you to kind of do it in honor of us. But you don't need to let us know or anything, but just take that into account. Bentley's Year in Infrastructure, I think, started today, and I think it goes through tomorrow. So just check that out. I think there's some webinars and sessions, so that's something to check out. And then we have one more Tech Talk next week on drainage on December 8th. So we hope you'll come back and join us for that. And then on December 15th, NCLUG will be hosting a little get-together game style thing for holiday cheer on December 15th. I think that's from 5 to 6, but I think that's posted on our website, so you can go there and register for that. I'm not sure what we're going to have in store for 2022. We got a few events on the plan, but I don't know that we'll be doing the weekly Tech Talks, but we'll be doing some things. So anybody that's interested in helping us plan those, just reach out to us and let us know that you're interested in being on the board or helping plan. We'd love to have you join us. So thanks everybody for joining us today, and then we'll get back to some more questions if Oak will stick around.
Yeah, I'm here. Any question? I mean, keep the question coming. Those are good questions, and those are things that we have to answer from time to time, and we do have, we are listening. We haven't got these things figured out. That's why I'm showing you these things, that once it is working the way we think it should be working, that we consider all options. It's just, some of the stuff we show is still, like Bentley would say, wet paint. Very wet paint here.
Going back to our current list of questions, somebody asked, how do you manage worksheets or sheet sets when we have multiple users working on a project and some need to work locally and others need on the server? Yeah,
so you can't work locally. Well, you can work locally, but that DGNWS needs to be shared. Earlier I talked about with the 1010 workspace, we have a variable here in projects here. So the 10.9 workspace use this DGNWS that sits here. But in the 1010 workspace, they use the workset DGNWS that sits inside the project folder there. But this important file here needs to be shared if you want to share that between your team. You can direct that to a server location like a S drive or R drive or something that multiple people have access to that same DGNWS. And certainly if you work off ProjectWise, you'll share that with everybody that's using ProjectWise.
Okay. Suppose, this is another question. Suppose you submit 30% plans last week using the sheet index to organize your deliverables. Is there anything you can do to the sheet index as you start to develop 60% plans today?
I got to think about that a little bit. Is Dean online? Sorry.
I'm on. What's up?
Yeah, you know how to answer that question, Dean?
I don't think I do. We may have to put both our heads together and discuss that one.
Yeah. We'll take that question. I don't know off the top of my head right now.
When you print cross-section sheets in Print Organizer, does it rasterize tiles and count from one, however many tiles on every cross-section sheet at a time?
I think we turn off rasterize. Something about it mess up something. So I think in our settings we turn off rasterize for cross-section sheets.
If you had an image in there, did you discuss how to plot with a aerial or something behind it?
Yeah, plan sheets. We it uses Raster Manager, and you just do your clip area the way you always done, and it'll come up. As long as you put in the level raster level 0, I think that's what the level needs to be on. And a pin table takes care of the rest.
Have there been any issues with work set sheet sets on ProjectWise? If a PEF keep working files on their server and upload the files to ProjectWise as they submit, will those need to be uploaded on ProjectWise every time?
Yeah, we are beginning to talk about work sets and ProjectWise. I don't think we're there yet. But the plan is to make it work the same way as the C drive. That again, you don't do the DGNWS and sheet indexing until you are in that system. Like you can return it into the NCDOT. You're in ProjectWise, that's when you set up your sheet index and stuff.
Another question just popped up. Can you quickly show how to turn the raster off for the cross section?
Yeah, it's a setting. It's a setting. Let me see. Cross sections.
Raster options.
Where is that? Right there.
The first one up at the top, print rasterized.
Or something in here. It's buried deep somewhere in here. I don't know. Configuration, maybe. But yeah, rasterize right here. So in this PLT CFG file here, the plot configuration, we turn this off because of some issues in cross section that needs to be off, or it takes a long time to print something. So yeah, printer driver configuration override. Yep. So that's how we turn it off here.
Okay. That was all the questions in the chat box. If anybody wants to raise their hand and ask a question or type any more questions in the chat box, now's a Good time.
Yeah, good question. Very challenging questions.
John Larry, you can go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to.
Yep.
Ask a question.
Oak, got a question for you on the way we plot stuff and just kind of how it would go forward. Currently, we do these agreement plans that are in color, and we have different sections of a water sewer line. What's a betterment? What's the sections that we're paying for versus what the municipality might be paying for. And it's all printed normally in black and white, and we're using pen tables to change the color of different aspects. So you can look at those colored plans at that time when we print them and know who's going to be responsible for what sections. How would that be done?
Yeah.
Going forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it'd be similar to hydro red lines, where there are black and white prints, but the drainage items are red as red lines. So you would change the color to choose color here. And then in your pen table here, you would tell it, everything is black and white except for, you give a logical name here, like if it's a PLN or DRN or
UTL.
UTL file. I want to, anything that's a logical name UTL, the output color is whatever, whatever
That
it
would
is.
that would change the whole file, correct? With those
Yeah.
items.
Yeah,
Okay.
anytime within the print. Yeah,
Where I'm talking about would be in one file where we have a sewer line that runs full length of a plan sheet, and you might have the first half of that sewer line be the state's cost, the second half of that sewer line be the municipality's cost, or water line, or anything of that nature, and we want to break down those sections of it. Would that be broken down with what you give the what you assign to the level or the?
Yeah. In that case, I would do a level, but this level prints out red. Everything else black and white, and then this level will be red. This level will be green, whatever.
Or can you make the utility itself just print whatever it is in the design?
Yeah.
A color. I mean,
yeah.
and not differentiate between levels and whatnot, but just say utilities print full color.
What they used to call that WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
That's what we're talking
may
about.
Want to talk to Robert too, because he's doing something different from for our hearing map. We're using display styles and not pen tables to color our hearing maps. That's is actually WYSIWYG. Whatever you see on screen is what you're gonna get.
Okay.
So you can look at that option too. So whatever you see on screen is what color is. You can set up this color. This element usually come out in green, but in my display style, it's going to be grayed out, or it's going to be highlighted blue or something.
But like roadway has a pen table, would utilities need to create their own pen table?
Yeah, that would be two different pen tables because you want to override two different things.
10-4, that makes sense.
I think you may want to talk to Bill and them too, and over Hydro. They have some red line pen table that you may can piggyback on, I think.
Yeah, it's very similar to their red lines, but sometimes we have to break up the, it would be almost like breaking up a water system, a drainage system, where you have what, if you're going to assign one color for what flows this way and what color for something flowing the other way on a high spot or a low spot.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what we do, is break it up to who owns it, who would pay for it, whose responsibility, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can almost seems like a WYSIWYG, like you were saying. Is whatever color this is on screen, that's what I want to show, but show everything else black and white.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? It's a lot of information to take in. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot more questions to come as people
Oh yeah.
do this.
Yeah, it's just now to catch catch us up early in the stage while we're thinking about this stuff. Make sure we get everybody input.
Okay. If nobody else has any other questions, I guess Oak, we can let you go, let you off the hook.
Okay. Yeah. All right, everybody, have a great day. Yeah,
Thanks,
looking
Oak.
forward to
Appreciate you
the new
doing this
year. Yep.
presentation.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Oak. Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, Oak. You rock.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
Like I say, we're hoping to do an in-person event this summer, so hopefully we can do some more hands-on training or something in these kind of realms with some plotting and some other things. So hopefully that's something to look forward to.
Hey, I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
Do you have y'all thought about like having some type of a book or something that we can go by? We're all this stuff that we've been talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like to follow along with, like a workbook or something.
Talking about just sheeting or
No,
printing
I mean,
or just
well,
everything?
everything really. I mean, like a book on well, especially the printing right there.
And don't you have those
Like a
modules,
pamphlet.
Oak? The
Yeah,
roadway
so
training
we got,
modules?
yeah, we are working on the sheeting module right now. That's like a training module that has,
Can you maybe
these,
show where those are located? Do you know, are they on the website?
well, it's the sheeting is not ready, but
Yeah.
the rest of the stuff are. So on our website there, we publish some ORD training modules, and that has written documentation how to do certain things. I think I think you find a lot of good information there on like if you need to read up or actually do hands-on training. I think these are really good to follow. We have like module 1 through module 11 here on file management, intermediate code modeling, detail modeling, existing terrain, horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, initial corridor, plan geometry, super elevation.
Is all these right here the same ones that you taught, or the people right here on this?
Actually, this is more involved. Yeah, this is more
Stepping
in-depth.
through and
Yeah,
following the instructions kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the one in here that I talk on the Tech Talk is very general, but this is very, very involved, very detailed stuff.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Don't
Yep.
forget, you can go back and watch the videos. Patty will probably explain that better than I could, but there's all the past videos that you can go back and watch over and over and refresh yourself, or
Yeah.
maybe help you walk you through something.
Yeah, because
Well, that's
sometimes
what
it's
I've
not
been
an
doing.
issue until you run into it.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing, except I've been taking a lot of screenshots on some of this stuff. And where, especially when you go different places to find different things. So that's basically what I needed. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it'd be really good when we get that summer conference going on again. We'll actually have PDFs and stuff, hands-on workshops. Well,
Okay.
all right,
Well, thanks
guys.
everybody. I'm
Yep.
putting links to the Toys for Tots. One's for the virtual toy box and one's for the donation. If anybody's wants a quick one, or do it now while you're thinking about it, we appreciate it. Everybody have a good holiday season. Hopefully we'll see y'all next week, and come join us for the fun trivia night on the 15th.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Jason, did you have a question?
He got his hands up.